I'm here with my little A6 Hobonichi that I do use as my daily memory keeping journal. And I am here for a October flip through. So let me find October Begins. After that, I will prep my pages for November, so if you want to stick around for that, then just watch to the end. So on the page before the month begins, I like to put a little calendar and just kind of like what some of my things coming up in the month are, kind of what my overall goal or plans are for the month. So I did that there. These are I use mainly from my own printables. I do have some other things in here as well, like these little churches I got from a shop on Etsy. Jumping into the first, I have a picture of like my collage sheets, that October collage sheets that come out on that day. I also started Peachtober, so that was another big thing in the month of October. Didn't get every single one done, but I got a lot of illustrations done, so that was fun. I had pre-decorated these pages, as in put the date and the day and maybe like a little bit of watercolor or border. That really helped a lot to keep up with things. I also, especially at the beginning, put a lot of the photos of my Peachtober for illustrations. So did a lot of that. Peachtober. I did more tip-ins, I think, this month, just when I had little odds and ends. I, like everyone else, has the new, looking forward to 2024, have my new planners and journals ready. So have been excited about that and have gotten, you know, some stickers, some things in. So this was in a order that I received, so I just stuck that in there because it was cute. This is, I use some washi here. This is my pocket journal Pam. This is some of my new washi that I really like, so I used it quite a bit through these pages. I've also pulled out some of my old printables. I have odds and ends, you know, left over from other months and other years, and so I have been trying to use some of those up. I got some covers from Midori. For example, this is one of them, and they're just nice, like if you cover your books. And I often will just use it like this and not keep it in my actual cover while I'm in the midst of using it, especially if I'm doing painting or messy things. So this just makes a nice cover while you don't have the other cover on. When you cover your collage on your books like I like to, I'll often cover it with packing tape, but if I use this, I don't need to use the packing tape. Anyway, so that was just off the label that came, the packaging for one of those covers. And more of my Inktober. This was a little tip-in. I think I was talking about world events there. That was on the 8th. Went to the doctor, so I put this old vintage anatomy book cut out there. I thought it was kind of fun. Still putting in a lot of Inktober things. Also have a lot of the Meatball and Company things. Stickers, like their washi tape that's work kind of like stickers. This was an order that I got. This was just a sweet little note from a friend, and so I put it in as a tip-in and also stuck some things on top of it. Some food packaging. This is a piece of art that I made and took to a gallery for a show that they were having. More Peachtober pictures. I also put my sticker club mailing. I like to keep record of that because then I can look back and see exactly what I sent. I got my Hobonichi order number 2 on this day. This is a tip-in, and I just added a little bit of washi tape there so that it would stay closed, except when I want to look at it, and it also just kind of lets me know that that does open up there. It's like a little tap. I put some of the Hobonichi stickers here. Just some house projects, put some pictures of that. You know, I think in future years it'll be fun to look back and see. This was from that Hobonichi order I got. It was, I had a cover for my work planner, which is the A5 Day Free, and this was just the little tag that came with it, so I stuck that in there. This was a tree that we planted. So put a picture of that, another Peachtober illustration. This was from a fountain pen, so it kind of gives the instructions of it, but yet, or do you keep that? So I just stuck it in here. I thought, well, if I ever really need to go back and look at the instructions, there it is. Used it as a tip-in and put some, you know, things on top of it too. I got some Sticky Club stickers, partly to share with my top tier patrons when I give them Happy Mail. So I put that little sticker that came with their order in there. I had gotten a new travel mug. I must have gotten a lot of new things this month because I have a lot of packaging that I included. So I put the travel mug in there, and also like made note of TV shows. I have a new desk set up, so I took a picture of that. Went to a meeting and I just talked about that day, and I was really tired that day, so I did, once I got back home, I kind of just took a little time to relax, which I don't often do. This was a book that I was listening to, an audiobook, and it was called Con Artist, and it was about a art forger. It was very interesting. I really enjoyed it. If you want to, like a nonfiction, it's written by the guy himself, Tony Tetro. So that was an interesting book. It was really warm and sunny this day, so that's why I put the sun up there. More of I had a landscape workshop, so I thought this landscape washi tape was perfect. Also, I was so tired, I've been having trouble getting enough sleep, and I slept 9.5 hours that night, which is, you know, I usually sleep like 5 hours. So that was really crazy and felt good. We went to a Shakespeare on the Porch. It's just like this family that puts on this Shakespeare show that's really remarkably good. And they do it every year. We went to that. It was rainy on this day. I did some filming, that's why the camera's there. I was watching my daughter's dogs, and they got into some fertilizer, so I had a big scare that day. It all turned out fine. They're fine. They didn't actually eat any like I thought at first, but I have those stickers that their doggy mama, Flimsy Fox, made, and I think they're really cute. And I had fun with these, using some of these. I kind of pulled out some of my little stickers that I don't know, I just kind of had forgotten about, and they'd been stowed away, and I kind of pulled out some of those and have been trying to use those a little bit more. This day is another Peachtober illustration. This was just off of some dog treat packaging. This was pre-decorated. I just used a watercolor brush to write that. This was from a speaker for my computer, and it was just laying around, so I just stuck it in because I had more pictures than I could fit on this page. I had like kind of a busier and more interesting day than usual, I guess, here, so I had more things to include. This day I had a workshop and then went and visited some family at a little small town fall festival, so kind of put a tip in and wrote about that. On this day I did worked on catching up my Peachtober a little bit, talked about that and some of the projects we got done. I love these little monster characters. They're from my Patreon sheets a year or two ago in October, but I still pull them out and use them sometimes. This day I worked on finishing Patreon sheets, but really had a sore wrist by the end of the day, so I thought that was a perfect little character for that. This is by Flimsy Fox also. I used it as a tip-in. Went to the dentist that day, so I have this other little monster character. And that is the end of October, so I am ready to jump into November. So the main thing I'm pulling out to prepare my November pages is my November Patreon collage sheets, and they're just handy because I have like days of the week and I have the dates and everything. So to keep it simple, I try to just use a finite amount of stuff instead of my whole stash of resources. So I don't have a whole lot of time to do this, but I know it'll really help me out through the month. On the first page that it has in the Hobonichi, it has a blank page at the beginning of each month before it starts in with the first. And on this page, I like to put the calendar, the monthly view of the calendar, and some goals. So I'm stuck that down. Here I've got also, in addition to my collage sheets, I have some artwork by grandchildren. Little bits that they've, left behind or given to me or whatever. And there's only so much space for all of those things. So I'm using some in my journal. It's a way to kind of keep and honor their artwork and have a useful purpose for it. It also sets roughly time frame. Like, they didn't do it on this day, but it was given to me in the last couple months, so it's relatively current. So I'm putting that in there, and I actually kind of used it on this day to cover up the writing that comes in the Hobonichi so that I have more of a blank slate to work with. So then I just stuck my day sticker on, kind of overlapping that artwork. And I think that's kind of fun. It makes an interesting page. Now, to do this every day would maybe get kind of bulky because, the paper is not particularly thin like my, the stickers that I print on the transparent sticker paper are fairly thin. And these are not. But that's the reason I get the A back, is because I bulk up my journals. I like the ephemera in there. To me, that really enriches the history that I'm recording, so I don't mind that. Now, sometimes you feel like words are too long or the days are too long. I like to put them sideways sometimes, and I think that really has a fun look and keeps, that whole center section of the page free to put whatever else you're going to put on there. So, for variety, I did some like that. On this next page, I tried to write the date and really did not like the color of green marker that I had. It didn't match at all. So the great thing about using Tombow markers is that you can just wash away the with water and, just make it be kind of a watercolor embellishment. So you see me kind of actually overlapping the edge of my little sticker, not necessarily the word, but I don't hesitate to run off the page because I can always just trim it up. And sometimes I do that even if it does cut into my image. And probably sometime through these days I'll probably do that. Here I'm using the date dots, what I call them, that I provided in my collage sheets. There you see me trimming the top of that one off because I didn't want it to take up that much of the page. But I used them as is, but there's nothing to say you have to use stickers or embellishments or anything like that as they come to you. You can modify them however you'd like. Here I'm simply using that Tombow marker, the green that didn't match on the other page. I still really like it, so I just wrote my own days of the week and dates on the page and added a border. And then here I have another bit of grandkid artwork, so I'm going to do a similar technique again where I use it to cover the writing on the Hobonichi to give me more of a blank slate to work with. This time, instead of just a straight or torn edge, I am cutting it into like a scallop shape. I'm pulling out those same decorative dates again, but this time I'm going to alter them by just cutting out a circle from within the design so that I have just my date. So once that's done, I just need to add my day of the week. I always include the date and the day of the week just because it helps me stay oriented through time. It just makes it easier for me. If I skip doing some pages and just pick up doing a page, down the road, I make sure I've got the right day that way. It just makes things easier. Now you saw me tucking in those little leftover scraps because those might be fun to use as I'm actually doing the page down the road. I might have those for little fillers or embellishments or whatever. So that's kind of nice to include in there. Cutting out some more of those date dots. This time I'm using them as is, as they come. And I'm using a Tombow marker to write in the day of the week. I pulled out a little selection of Tombow markers that kind of matched the color theme of these sheets that I'm using. And I think I'll just leave those set aside through the month to use as I work on the pages. And that's just an easy way to kind of ensure color coordinated pages, if that even matters to you. I really love a good border on a page. I just think it helps tie everything together. As you noticed, I kind of work in spreads rather than individual days. It's my preference to kind of have them correspond with each other a little bit. Now I'm cutting those same date dots using the same ones again, but this time I've cut it into a square. I used some white out there because I didn't want that bold little box that's on the Hobonichi to show through the week. Usually I don't worry about it, but occasionally they just fall in the wrong spot. So I used some other little cutout days of the week on those pages, kept it pretty simple. Double checking my days of the week there. I do that once in a while because I have been known to put the wrong day of the week on the date when I'm prepping. So I try to double check once in a while because if I mess up, then, the whole rest of the month is going to be wrong. Using that Tombow marker again, I really like the color of that pink, and some of the, like the date dots had that color in it. Some of the sheets, the collage bits had some of that in there. So I don't usually pre-decorate for events, but I know that the 23rd is going to be Thanksgiving, so I decided to just go ahead and put this turkey on there to kind of draw attention to that day. And still trying to leave plenty of room and plenty of flexibility. I'm putting some of my words on there. Another thing you can do with these, especially if you use the transparent sticker paper, is you can do some layering like I'm doing here. So I have my turkey, and then I've cut out the words separately together, and I'm just layering right there on top of the turkey. Save some space there too, and I like how it looks. So be creative, even if you have stickers or sheets prepared by other people, you can still adapt and change it, to your own tastes and needs. I'm using a little bit different style of days of the week here. I think it ties in nicely though, and is nice and small. But for the Thanksgiving day, I decided to just go ahead and write in Thursday with my Tombow marker in a matching color. More artwork here. I obviously just cleaned off my cabinet where I had stuck them all because they were kind of piling up. And I'm using it this time in a different way to cut out my date for the day. So I'm just kind of freehand cutting these numbers out of that beautiful artwork and using that on my page. And then of course I like the next page to match, so I have a different little section of coloring that I'm going to use to cut out another 2 and a 5. Just use a little glue stick to stick those on, and I really like how that looks. I think maybe I should try to do that more often. I love the look of cut out letters and numbers. I just don't always, take the time to do it, but I do like the end result. I'm cutting out some more days of the week here to go on these because the numbers are so big. I'm choosing something small for the days of the week. I've already stuck this tooth in there because I know I have a dental appointment on this day. So that's just something I had rather than throw it away. I decided to, stick it in there. It could be a little fun tip in or journaling card, or I'm not sure. I might not use it at all, but it's in there handy for me in case I decide to. The dates I'm using on these days, since the weekday was so big, I'm using off of the tinies. I always include a sheet of tinies, is what I call them, of just a little miniature version of these big dates and days and everything. And so that, like, if you're working in a smaller journal like the weeks or this A6, sometimes you want a little smaller size. So here I'm cutting those dates down again into squares to put on this page. I kind of like the look of that. I like the crop. I like the whole thing. Obviously, that's how I made them. But for variety, I really like the cropped down version of them as well. Using the Tombow marker to put the days of the week, and I'm doing a couple different lettering styles here, but in the same color, so it still all kinds of ties together. If you want to dress up your letters, an easy way to do that is just to take a darker color and add a shadow to, one side of the letters. Decide to go ahead and do that on both days of the week. Again, even though I use different styles, it gives it some continuity. I decided to try coloring in one of those dates, and it actually did not work out very good because it doesn't show up, but that's okay. And then I'm washing some of that off with the water brush, but that's okay. I can always go back with a white or light colored pencil, or gel pen or something like that later, so I'm not going to get too shook up about it. And even if you totally ruin a page, it's just one day in out of 365. So I finished up prepping November, and I'm just going back and taking a look at the pages, admiring what I had done and double checking that everything's okay in there and got done. So I hope you enjoy this and got some ideas for your own page preps, if that's something you do, or do you like to wait and do them the day of? Just let me know in the comments how you approach that. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.